What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster. This is episode 35 now on the series. In the last episode, we built this building right here. This is the first building that you see right as you enter the park, and you guys, I think it turned out really good. Like I said in the last video, I think this is arguably the best building that I have ever built and will ever build in Planet Coaster. It just turned out perfectly. Something else that I added to off camera is some lights, because this is the first park that we've done so far that actually has lights. Now, we do typically keep the light setting at 10 a.m., not 10 p.m., so I don't know when we'll actually see the lights, but it is a nice thing to add. Another new thing that you guys haven't seen yet is not only do we have ATMs out here, I'll get into more about why we have those here in a second, but we also have a new sign in front of the Planeteer that, of course, says Planeteer. I also added some lights to the queue over here, just sort of, you know, brighten things up a little bit for the nighttime. And we added another sign on the back side of the queue, or the coaster station right there. So the reason I added ATMs in front of the Planeteer, you guys, is because we are charging a stupid amount of money for this ride. We're charging $32.65 for one ride around the track here. And most of the time, people are saying that they don't have enough money to go on the Planeteer. So to fix that, or to combat that, I went ahead and added 2 ATMs so they have no excuse but to get out more money and give us all they got. So enough about what I did off camera. Let's get into what we're going to be doing for today's episode, and that is building yet another roller coaster. This will be our second coaster now in the park. So to start things off here, we're gonna go ahead and grab this coaster station right here. We're gonna click Advanced, Move, and Duplicate. That way everything stays nice and square. Rotate it all around, and then we are going to click and drag all the way across the pond over to here. We'll go ahead and just place it down there for now. The first thing we have to do before we even get started over here is we have to make sort of an entrance, and I actually didn't want to use that path. We need our queue entrance right here, so we'll just put 2 paths right there, looking good. Now, there's a couple things we have to change on this building. Obviously, some of those lights that we pulled that were attached to the coaster at the front and the back here are going to have to get removed. They can't stay, otherwise they'll just be floating off in space and it'll look super weird. So we'll go ahead and delete those from this blueprint. Now that we have that done, if we count out right here, guys, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wood panels. Now what we have to do is get this concrete block on the opposite side to line up just over this 6th crack right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be the 6th one. We're gonna go into Advanced Move one more time. Those people are trying to use the ATM. I don't think this will mess them up. I think right about there is what we wanted at. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ATM right on the 6th line. That should be perfect. We'll go ahead and place the building down here. We're gonna keep the sign for the time being. We'll of course change the name and everything like that as soon as we figure out what we want to call it. Maybe I can think of something in the episode here, but normally that turns out really badly. So I'm gonna grab my queue paths here. Also, something I want to note too, guys. Someone did let me know that the priority pass is supposed to be short. It shouldn't be as long as the main queue, and I somewhat agree with that. The queue that we had in place before was technically shorter, so what I did is elongated the normal queue for the peons out to about here, and I have the priority queue now just going along the outside of the building and right on up the stairs. So whoever you were that commented that, I do hope you're happy now that we've sort of adjusted that and addressed the issue there. But let's go ahead and select this grid system here, and we'll start getting our queue snaked around the coaster station. And there you go. That is, for the most part, our queue done. Like I said, we'll have to go through and add the priority pass entrance and exit. But let's take a look at what coasters we could possibly do here. So we don't have a ton of money. We got $21,000. Coasters typically that we've built in the past have been anywhere from $10,000 to about $30,000. So I think with this price range, we're gonna wanna keep the initial input costs fairly low. So I think I might do the Typhoon here. This is a new coaster for us. It's part of the classic DLC, I want to say. Maybe it's part of the adventure DLC. I'm not really sure about that. But we're going to do the station with the left entry and right exit, just like we've done before. We'll place it down just over here, and we're going to continue on with a couple of stations here. Nothing crazy. I think right about there should be plenty long. And let's drag this thing on into the coaster station that we built. I think we we got it almost the perfect size. Maybe the perfect size. Wow, that never happens. And now we'll be able to place the priority pass entrance and exit. So right down here, we're gonna come to about the center of this path. Place that down right about there. And the exit is going to be right up here, as center as we can get it. Right about there, looks pretty good. Now we just have to connect that up to there and connect this one up. Perfect. So we should be ready to rock over here as far as the queue goes. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really curious on how many trains we can add into here. So it looks like we have 4 cars and an enormous station, just as big as the other one, but I think these cars are a little bit shorter, so we might be able to put a couple more trains on here than just 3. 5 trains? Dude, that's nuts. Okay, this is gonna be crazy. Hang on a second. Let's change the min rider load to full load. We'll take off the wait time. I think the min departure interval should be about 15 seconds. We'll check don't block the station, change the priority over queue to high priority, and we'll just leave it on standard. We don't have to get too crazy there. Oh, I guess technically these are a single car, so they're counting these as 2-car trains instead of, I think I said 4. Now we have to try to do the path, guys, and it's important that we do this first so we know which area we have to try to stay in. So we're gonna grab a 33-foot wide section of path. It's not gonna matter because we are going to select a grid from over here. We'll select this one, drag it on back behind here, and I think we want it, I think that's too close. I think we want it right about here. We'll do 3 path sections just like that, and now we just slowly start to turn the path to the left here until it connects up to there. So that's half done. Let's do the other half really quick. And there we go. We got our sort of horseshoe shape figured out here. Now what I would like to do, guys, is basically take this building right here because it's just beautiful, and I want to copy and paste it over here in this area. We'll do another one right here and another back behind the new coaster that we're building right now. I feel like that's gonna work out the best because then not only do we have restrooms scattered around the park, but we're gonna have information booths. We'll have at least 4 shops spread around the park. That way there's not just one designated food court area. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. Let's just keep focusing. I know I'm getting a little distracted on the coaster over here. So now that we have that main path branched out right there, we can come back into here, get our 13-foot wide path out, do a small little staircase down the backside here, and we'll connect it up to this main path. And with that done, boys, we are ready to start working on the track here. So this one, it's a little bit different. It's got a lot going on. So we have $16,000 now. We had 20 to start with, and all we've done is add the station, the queue, the building, and the path surrounding it. So we already don't have a ton of money in the bank left. But some of the track sections here on this ride are really interesting. We have the rounded chain lift start, midsection, and end. We also have the overhang chain lift start, the midsection, and the overhanging chain lift end. I don't know what either of these really look like, but I'm going to try to use one of them. Obviously, we're not going to have enough space over here, so we're going to do a similar thing that we did on the Planeteer, and that is we're going to rotate this thing around, make sure our speed settings are all up to par. So we'll come out to about 29 feet, do something like that. And right here, this is where I'm thinking we may have enough room to do one of these chain lift starts. This one, that ain't happening. That just, it's too big. It intersects our path right there. What do I have turned off? I thought I left, I swear I turned this stuff off, you guys. I don't know why it keeps popping up. Okay, we'll apply that. So it shouldn't let us place that down now if we try it again. There we go. Okay, perfect. I want to try to build everything in the park as realistic as possible. I might have turned off the collisions while we were working on the building. I think I might have done that because I was having some trouble with the doors. So in that case, let's do the rounded chain lift start right here. That's $272, and boy does it look cool. I don't even know what's going on here, but it looks awesome. And then $90 for the midsection here. So let's do 1, 2, 3 midsections. That might be too much, honestly. We're still not as tall as the Planeteer, it looks like, but what if we add the end? That's gonna put us maybe the same height, maybe a little bit taller, but that should be perfect. Now look at what's going on up here, guys. It not only goes 90 degrees right about here, but then completely inverts on itself, and this is gonna be really, really cool. So we'll use their standard track. That's the one with all the extra added supports. Otherwise, we have the H-style track, or the H-beam style track. Actually, you know what? For the initial drop, we'll probably use that because that's what it has from the top. So we'll go with the H-beam style track here. We're gonna make it as long as possible. Do a 45-degree turn here, so nice and gradual. And then if we do another 45 back up to 0, that should put us at exactly where we want to be. Now, I'm going to do a bank section right here of about 45 degrees because we are going to be turning to the right. And I think I'm going to do a 90-degree turn right here. That might be a little crazy. Ooh, actually, maybe not. We might have to go up because this would be the end right here. Let's try to go up 45 degrees. Oh God, this might hurt, you guys. This actually might hurt. And now up to this point, I'm gonna level it off to a 0, and we'll change the bank to a 0 as well so it flattens off at the top. And I think I want to try to go back around this initial drop right here. And then right here, I want to have a wavy section. You guys know I like those wavy sections. They tend to get our excitement levels up a ton. So we'll do 45 degrees up, back to 0, 45 degrees down, back up to 0. And right here, we're gonna have to do about a 45, maybe sharper. Let's see, if we make this really long, let's see how sharp we have to be. Right at a 90. Technically still in the zone here. We're not quite over the path. Let's go down 11.25. We'll do an angle of, I'd say 22.5 to start. This is gonna stay going down 11.25. We'll bank this to about a 45. I want it to level out back to a 0. And then I wanna try to do the same thing that we did over on the Planeteer, and that is going in between these two buildings here. So I have to line this up perfectly. Then we'll make this track section super long, 90-degree turn. That's gonna go back to a 0. And now that we've done that, we're gonna do a slight climb right here. Let's pull that one up 11.25. This one, we're gonna keep going straight. Let's test it out and see if it can at least reach this point. So here we go. We got our first car coming out. We should probably make sure that this has a good chain speed too. Let's do 14 miles an hour. Stop and start the test over. You got to make sure you got plenty of speed going up the chain lift. Otherwise, it's just going to be way too boring. So here we go. They're hitting the chain section right now. It should speed up a little bit. Wait till you guys see this drop. It's going to be absolutely insane. Up at the top, down, completely inverted. Nice and smooth down through there. Big ol' loop around the backside, up and over that hump. Around this turn, it's carrying a lot more speed than I thought it was gonna have. All right, that's perfect. That's looking really, really nice. All right, just watch how fast it comes up here, guys. This thing's nuts. It has like 0 friction, I swear. Up and over and up the hill here. No problem there. It's gonna pick up a ton of speed around that turn. Ooh, I think it might be able to do that, you guys. Okay, we'll stop it right about there. It's gonna go around the loop here. Starts to come up and around. Can it do the 45? Yes, it can. Down and up. Down and up. We don't have very good excitement through there though because it doesn't have a lot of speed. Oh, you guys, I've never struggled this hard on a coaster. This is so frustrating. Well, let's back it up to all the way to here. Doesn't look like it's gonna like it if we do that. I don't know what to do here. This is so annoying. Here we go. That's how we do it, because really, I'm trying to get to the other side again, right? I'm trying to get to over here so we can add some more, and then we'll loop back around and go to the exit. That's kind of the plan anyways. Or we could do a loop over here, come back around. Let's bring out another car. This is not at all how I wanted this episode to go, but hopefully we can get something to go. Oh my God, fear is so crazy through there. I mean, that would probably scare me too. All right, you guys, at this point, I am going to try my very best to get a decent coaster, and I will see you guys when I'm finished with that. Okay, guys, after many hours later, I think I finally got something that's going to work. I haven't tested it yet. This is the first maiden voyage of the ride here, so we have the same straight drop that we have, except a couple little things are different here and there. This big turn section is about the same, and this is where I started to get that jumping section, or the hill section that I wanted originally. It goes up and over the queue, back down. This is where it gets really slow. I don't know if it's gonna be able to finish the track. I really hope it does. And then I have some more sort of hill sections back behind the first drop, down the backside here, and up into the station. So we're gonna have to let these first couple cars go in front of us, but let's take a look at what we got for a score. I'm hoping it's good. Oh my God, no! I worked so hard. Oh, that is so sad. Okay. Well, let's see where it's scary, I guess. We'll go into heat maps. Fear. Where does my ride exceed G-force limits? That's what I'm curious about. All right, so we got fear right here. Why is that super hot? Okay, literally the whole thing is scary, but isn't that exciting? It's very exciting. Where does it exceed G-force limits? Lateral G's, that's all pretty okay. Let's go to vertical G-force. I mean, it's dark in a couple areas, but I feel like all of our coasters are kind of that way. I don't understand, you guys. I worked so incredibly hard on this coaster. I just wanted it to pay off. Let's smooth everything out as much as possible. I'm just gonna keep on clicking this button until it doesn't work anymore. Okay, we've officially spent hundreds of dollars on smoothing out this coaster. Let's go ahead and give it another ride, and we'll see if anything has changed. I really hope we have a good outcome here, you guys. I wanted this ride to be really, really good, and it's just not turning out the way I had hoped for, which is kind of upsetting, but that's all right. Not every single coaster we build is going to work out perfectly. We can have some bad ones, just like we built the Planeteer. I'll have to go back and, you know, adjust some things like I had to. Change the colors, all that good stuff. So it basically got rid of those hill sections completely, just wiped them out. What? What? Hang on a second. That should not happen. I want to see what our rating is first. But there's no way that would work. We went straight through a freaking building. And then here we're like inches from the ground. We're on top of the path. All right, I just gotta see what our score is here, guys. And the results are surprising, but still terrible. So this coaster, fail, did not work. We're gonna start over again. Okay, test number 45 now. No, I'm just kidding. It's like test number 3 or 4, I think. But I might have finally got something to work. Now it's much, much shorter than I would have liked, but it just might work. So we have the first drop right here. We got another turn to the right. Oh, it already seems like, yeah, it's like way too scary. We got red hot fear all across the board. We're just staying at a constant like 12. How is that even possible? I just want to see what the results would be for a ride that scary. I don't understand. Survey says terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I actually thought I was making everything pretty slow. All right, well, I guess we're gonna try again. Okay, guys, this time for sure. This is attempt number 67 and a half. We got the first drop. I did make the first drop way shorter, and by way shorter, I mean I took out one midsection, making the ride itself a little bit slower. But that's really the only way I think we're gonna be able to get a full lap around here without it being absolutely terrifying. So this end bit here kind of slows it down, and then it really hauls balls back into the station. But if we take a look at our score here, let me go to the test results. We'll just fast forward till all the trains get out of the station. And we got a 7.8, a 5.3, and a 3.14. The nausea is a little bit higher than I would like, but that gives us a prestige of 992. Now, I'm not crazy about this one, but it's gonna have to do for now. I've already spent at least 4 hours now trying to build a good coaster. So at a 992 divided by 35, that would be 28.34. So for this one, we'll charge $28.34. I don't think I'm gonna change any of the colors or anything like that. I will, of course, be changing the front sign and the rear sign, but I do need a name. And what better name for an underwhelming coaster than Underwhelming? Now the hard part about that is I'm gonna have to make a sign big enough to fit all those letters on it. So I'm gonna tackle that, and I'll see you guys here in a sec. Okay, there we go, got our signs made. So we're gonna call this one Underwhelming, obviously because it's super underwhelming, but I changed all the advertisement destination for each letter to the ride itself. And I know I said I'm not gonna change the colors, but I do think I wanna alter them just slightly. I'm gonna start by making sure all of these blacks are actually black. The yellow, I'm gonna use this highlighter yellow. Change these blacks to make sure they're black. and change that highlighter yellow. The operator's colors, of course, are going to be yellow hat. Actually, hang on a second. We'll do black hat, yellow shirt, yellow shorts, and then black belt and shoes. Oh yeah, that should look pretty good. And now I think we are ready to open this thing up. Now we don't have anyone out here to patrol this area, so I'm gonna add a 33-foot path off of here. There we go. And with that done, we're gonna come over to this building over here, actually these buildings over here. We're going to duplicate them and drag them all the way over to this area. I'm going to try to place them down as center as I possibly can. I think right about there looks pretty dang solid. So, of course, with the addition of this new area on this side of the park, we are going to need not only a new roster, but some more employees. So we're gonna need a janitor, we're gonna need a mechanic, and we're gonna need a security guard. No, don't go too far, guys. We gotta change your outfits. All right, now that all their outfits are changed, we can go ahead and make our new work roster. So we have the East Central Park. This, of course, is going to be the West Central Park. We're gonna select these two buildings out here and Underwhelming, save the work roster, and now we just have to make sure each and every one of these guys, or I guess all three of them, have the same work roster. So we're gonna select Alfonso Romero right here. That's our janitor. He'll be under West Central Park. Then we have Dong Prout. You guys, his name is actually Dong. I did not change that. He's gonna be in the West Central Park. And then we have Sonny Cox. He's our security guard. He's gonna be in the West Central Park as well. Looks like a couple of people are starting to come over. That's good news for the Underwhelming roller coaster. I'm kind of bummed that I couldn't get something else, something a little bit better going on over here, but this was a really difficult coaster to build. Now, I have no idea why. I did not struggle that hard when we were building the Planeteer, really at all. I did come through and change the actual design of the Planeteer just because I wanted it to be more symmetrical with this path. So the path that splits it down the center, I wanted each side to kind of be at least sort of the same. Whereas with this one, it's just kind of all over the place. It really doesn't make much sense. There's not a whole lot going on with it. There's no wavy sections. I'm surprised that we got a 6.8, honestly, for the excitement. That's kind of incredible. So to finish things out here, I think we're just gonna take a ride on the Underwhelming roller coaster that we created today. But since you made it to the end, you are the exact person that I want to let know about the 2G merch that will be coming at some point. Still waiting on a couple of things to sort of get into place here. We hit 500 so incredibly fast, and I honestly wasn't prepared for it. I figured we had a couple more weeks yet so I could, you know, get the web store up and running, get all the shirts back from print and things like that. But I will be letting you guys know more about that a little later on, so please be patient for all of that stuff. But if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.